Welcome back to another episode of Gregtech Community Edition Modern. Last time we got our assembly line back here working and managed to whip up our first LUV machine, which is right here, our lovely assembler. This is going to allow us to make new parts to upgrade other machines, which is going to be absolutely great. However, there is one problem we also have to solve before switching over. And that would be the fact that this fuel source, the gasoline that we're currently using, is not going to cut it. We're going to have to ditch the things down below pretty soon. But yeah, that's not going to cut it at all. I did manage to set up a freezer to get me liquid oxygen to be able to overclock these. However, this will drain within 15 hours if neither of them are on. And so we kind of need to let it burn some fuel for a little bit here while we set up the next thing we're going to do for them, which is we are going to replace the use of gasoline with this high octane gasoline. Now this does require EV reactors, or EV reactors, EV chemical reactors. And I think we need them for both. Not that. Where is it? That one and this one? No, that one's HV. So I guess we don't need them anywhere else. But I grabbed 3 EVs just so that we can make sure we run it. I did change the distillation tower for my light fuel to accept the hydrogen right here. Hydrogen gas. So now instead of producing the lightly steam cracked, it produces the lightly hydrocracked fuel, because that one is what is needed. Why are we not functioning? What is full? The butane. Oh, I didn't realize that was a new one. So I guess I'll have to make up another tank and storage bus for that. This is why it's a good thing to check your things every once in a while. I just got ready for this, so I wasn't sure, didn't realize that, but it is good to know. So let's craft up like 4 of those so they're ready for other things. But we need that, and we need a new tank for when we finish up making our high octane gasoline. So, make sure that's the only other one that's kind of having an issue, and it looks like that is the case. Which, I guess we're going to have a problem with our storage over here being full then as well, yes? No. Okay. I don't know why it's not filling that, but that's a good thing. But we can pick up... I guess what I should do is we should pick this up and grab out our butane. And then that one's already filled with what we needed there. We can lock it. And then we can grab out that stuff that we wanted done. We'll put our storage on there. Recipe. And put that right there. And just one little cable. You want it to stay color-coded, so I would like the regular glass cable here. There we go. So now, that will continue running, but that is what we needed to use to get the octane to make this fuel. So, there are 2 components we also need to make before actually making this fuel, because we have our gasoline, we have our octane, but we now need nitrous oxide and then our ethyl tetrabutyl ether to synthesize ourselves this new fuel. So we're gonna. That's why we have enough stuff to make 3 more of these reactors. So let us grab out the first blocks. We're going to start right back over here in our chemical reactor area. And we're going to go 1, 2, and place our maintenance hatch right in the middle. Again, over here, 1, 2, 3. Place our copper coils down. 1 and 2. And then we'll place our control blocks down. 3 main things we need before we need our input, which for ourselves to make the nitrous oxide, we need nitrogen and oxygen. And we only need a little bit of each of these. So we'll do that. It's there. Because the last block that I forgot to add on in was going to be our pipe casing. And that should all besides the power, which I'm feeling right here. So we can do it there and there. So let's go ahead and jump on down. Place it there. I can get it to go. There we go. And then we'll fill out the other one as well. Except we will put, I think actually I should put these on the other side. So we'll switch these. Because then I can put an interface there. And I can put the other 2 interfaces on this side as well. So we'll go down, bam, bam, bam. And then I forgot the export bus side, or export hatch side right there. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. And now we just need our power. And then we can put all of our buses in for either of these. And now, the biggest reason I like to do these in these changes, the nitrous oxide has literally no other use besides electrolyzing, so that one's not worth doing anywhere else. And the other tetrabutyl, the ethyl tetrabutyl ether also has 0 other uses. So there is literally no point in making it in any other place other than right here for making fuel. So we're going to put our 2 other input hatches here. And then we need our output hatches, which are right there. I don't know why I got 7 of them. Unless I was working, I think I was getting ready to work on something else. I don't know. There's our output hatches. And now, this is the fun part, we can go ahead and wire up this nice and simply by dragging over our cables. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, so this is the easiest part of it all. We take our interfaces, which I guess I don't have that many left. I had tons of these made, so I kind of forgot that I've been working on some other stuff, and I'll show that off here at the end. But ran out of stuff because of that. So our first little amount that we need is going to be over here, and we're going to make our nitrous oxide. So we need nitrogen and oxygen. Mouse cursor is moving faster than I expected. So we need our nitrogen, nitrogen gas. There, nitrogen gas, which will go on in, and then we also need our oxygen gas right there. And now with a little bit of power and a number 4 circuit, we will get that going. Do I actually have a transformer? I should. We have one. Good. Okay. Now we just got to go down and add another line. It's going to come over here. It can probably come out right there. And the question is, do I have enough wire to get over here from there? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1 short. We cannot assign it there, so let's grab ourselves some more of those. Just craft up 2 more for now, and I will get more of those crafted up later and then insert them into auto crafting at some point as well. But while we wait for those, we can hook up the rest of the machines. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we just need our wire cutters. Wherever those went. We will snip on into the system. Ooh, we actually need our wrench because it did not position itself the right direction as well. There we go. And that should be our... this one, samarium. Okay. 1. Oh, quite literally 1. 1 away. Okay, so now mixing that together, we should hear this come off. Get back over here. What do we got? Insufficient outputs fluid. Did it already do it all? Oh. It did. Good to know. Okay. Now, we are going to go ahead and pipe the power over to this input, because this is where I'll put the last power input. Right there. Okay. Now, we've got that one set up. Are the interfaces done? Interfaces are done. So, we can put the other 2 on the other side now here. And so we got 1 and 2. And for that one, we need ourselves ethanol and butene. So let's put those in there. Not butane, but butene. Where did it go? There it is. Ethanol. And butene. We got butene. And our ethanol, which is not wired up to storage. This is why I did make a couple extra storage buses, because I figured that would be the other one that's not wired up, as that one stems from a different section. What do we got over here? Where is it? Is this one? Cooling, phenol. It's over here somewhere. Ethanol, right there. Now let's just make sure that that is locked into place so it doesn't change. And there we go. Okay, let's go. Okay, so now if we get back over here, we should see that it is also working, taking 5 seconds to craft to make our ether tetrabutyl ether. Alright. So now comes the final fun part. We do need to insert a lot more stuff into this final one. Where is my power? I keep forgetting what color we're working with power-wise. And I keep having to figure that out every 2 seconds. Especially when you have to switch in between IV and EV and all those other ones. And I know we can put this on an IV machine, but I would prefer to do it on the EV just to help conserve a little bit of power while it's going. As well as time is one of the most unlimited resources you got, so you might as well use it. So these are only needed in small quantities, as well as the other inputs that we will need. So this is where I will use my blue cables to extend this out further. and then up to the other 3 hatches we're going to need to fill. We'll place our maintenance hatch right up front still, and then we need 3 interfaces. 1, 2, and 3. How about our... Move that one. We don't want that one. So we do need an input hatch of the highest variety, and this is going to be our gasoline input. So let us make that there. Gasoline. And this one has to fill up because it requires large amounts of gasoline. Then we need our octane. So let's put our octane in this one. And then I think the last thing we need is our tooling, which means we need double the amount of the tooling. We don't want it there. We want it over here. And I know I could use the by 4 input hatches, but I figured I'd rather save on the polytetrafluoroethylene than save on the other, just, it's literally just wrought iron for these smaller ones. I just don't see the point in making the by 8 ones. So there's that, and we just need ourselves the coils, wrap around our pipe casing. Again, wrap all the way around, and I did not want to place that one in the center, but we'll get rid of that in a second. Because that is where the output hatch is going to go. And where we will pipe over top here. Oh, come on. To allow our storage bus and tank to exist. We'll just make sure this is filtered to just the gasoline that we are going to produce wherever that one went. High octane. There we go. So that is all that will enter it, and then we can allow the input from the back and set these sides up. So this is where a little bit of fun is going to go. And actually, I don't think it's worthwhile setting that up. Never mind. We're going to go ahead and just use pipes. So let's find our pipe. I think our best one to use, we just need to double check these. So nitrous, not any special states, and the ether is not any special state. So it really does not matter which one. I'll just grab the highest throughput rate that we have. Maybe not that high. Maybe more just like that one. And I'll just put 2 of them on there. So we need that off and this down. So we'll place that there. Place that there. And 1 and 2. And now gasoline, octane, tooling, ethyl, and I guess this one did not get shifted, that's why. So now we should see it generate its high octane gasoline, nitrous oxide, octane. Oh, and we've got to set it to 24. I knew there was one thing that was missing, but I wasn't quite sure if it was a circuit. There we go. We are now making high octane gasoline. It makes a full 32 buckets with each craft and is actually fairly quick compared to what I thought it was going to be. No overclocking in the recipe, and it's still only 2.5 seconds. So now this is where the real incentive starts. So now, instead of us piping over gasoline, what needs to happen is that this one, and this is the biggest one, these ones down here could be switched over to, instead of piping in gasoline, we do the high octane. And we will have to turn both of them on for the time being to run through the fuel that they have currently, which should be pretty fast. As it says, these do 124 parallel cycles. So I do want to actually see it get to use the gasoline before we do anything else here. Ticking down to the very end point. And High Octane Gasoline has entered. We got 250. I think this is where we need to replace it with interfaces. So let's do that. Since there is no delay between interfaces working, whereas the exports and import buses seem to have that delay. I like the fact that I actually figured out how these are going to work with this stuff. But there you go. Massive amounts of power, no change here. However, it will be able to run at a much more stable pace, as with these running, we should still drastically gain in fuel content. There we go. Yep, still bumping up pretty harshly. The only issue is, like I said, we're going to have to remove these ones over here off of the gasoline itself. And make sure that these are running almost exclusively off of the high octane gasoline as well. Now, I could have them flood going backwards, but I don't really want to do so. I'm going to wait for them to teeter off, and then I will equip them with the ME cables and change them, especially since two of these now actually need to come out of the cluster, as neither this one nor this one are currently being used for anything. And pretty soon this one's actually going to be taken off too, as I'm going to switch this over to the power grid as well. And honestly, now that I got this going, I might even be able to upgrade and put two more of these on here, which currently we handle what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 IV power load right now, which we have way more hooked up to it than that, but a majority of it, like this machine here, they don't have any use for that. So it's actually quite nice that this power is going to be leading us to a situation where we're going to have way more power available again, which is exactly what we need. I don't know if that was in anything here. Probably was an earlier tree. Oh yeah, we gotta get buckets. Hold on. Do we have a bucket in here? We have a bucket. Before we do anything, let's go fulfill those quests so that we can have them done. Bucket of gasoline. And bucket of high octane gasoline. Check and check. Now, the only thing that I don't think is ever actually going to get finished if I don't do something about it. Schroeder holder above HV adds 10% and hold EU energy by 2. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I have the next steam turbine, so I don't think that this one will ever get done unless I go back and craft that. As well as the combustion engine stuff is not going to work. Not going to be done. I am not doing that. We'll check those quests off like no tomorrow. I will not, under any circumstances, finish yeah. And yeah, so not gonna do those. Anyways, next time we can actually go into a little bit more LUV stage stuff, as with the high octane gasoline done, we are guaranteed the power throughput to be able to keep those batteries charged for a high duration amount of time. And I do know somewhere along here, that's what I wanted to check, we're supposed to be able to make, I think, right there, that's where we get to our latest thing that we're going to end up doing at some point. We're going to have to make ourselves a plasma generator. Don't know how these things work. I'm excited to find out how they work. But we will find out soon enough, now that we can actually use our LUV machines with no worries. Anyways, the last thing I was going to show you guys, we much further expanded our auto crafting. So I now have 1, 2, 3, and 4 new crafters for assemblers, as well as an additional 2 extruders, which I still haven't decided what I want to put on this last one here yet, because I don't actually have any recipes for any of the stuff currently. So we can actually go back to the overworld and I can show you exactly how stripped our old auto crafting area is now. It is very much gone, and something I did not expect to actually get to be as cleared as it is now. But such is the way of upgrades. Like, look at this. Empty rows of machines. And now we literally just have forming press. We have a fluid solidifier, which I don't even remember what... Oh, this is just making the poly... Yeah, so this is polybenzimidazole ingots from the liquid when we need them. Because we need the liquid more than anything else. I guess really the only thing left is to get like a lot of these mixer recipes either figured out to go in the furnace, or if it's something that doesn't go in the furnace, like the soldering alloy, maybe a mass mixer of some sort. Just to help speed up the process of crafting, because this is probably the slowest part of crafting circuits now, is the soldering alloy. But that's not something I'm entirely sure of. I know that we have it looks like 2 assemblers, because I still have this one over here just doing some basic tasks that don't get done very often. Oh, no, we have this one over here, kind of doing the same thing. So I don't know if I really want to be bothered to move that one over. The advanced extractor, on the other hand, that might get moved over for the same exact reason that I would move over the mixer for the soldering alloy, is that all of this stuff is used for a lot of crafts, and it takes some time to melt it down. And I would say this is probably the other one that's going to get taken care of, is solution set up for making iron chloride 3 and all of the circuit stuff that's needed in a more upgradable reactor. So that's probably where we're going to be headed with that. But I want to thank you guys all for watching so very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really enjoy reading the comments, especially ones that tell me that I've done something wrong, and I find it. Shout out to, oh man, I'm gonna have to go find out who it was again, but, one of you told me that I forgot the auto crafting card in this base, and let's see if I can find it really quick. I know I wrote it down somewhere here. It was... Who was it? Oh, great. Yeah. I can't seem to find it. Oh, it was Mopman. There it is. Found it. Okay. Yeah, so Mopman told me that that crafting card was missing. And I came over here and went, oh, that's not full. Then I checked over here and went, you're right. It is not there. I did forget to replace it when I replaced it with the interface. So, appreciate the help. And I appreciate the views. So, thank you again very much. And remember to leave a like and a comment in the comment section. As I said before, I read every single one of them. I'm trying to get in the habit of actually responding to them because I know that, like, I've always felt that if I don't have something good to say, people don't really care. So I don't always tend to respond, but I will still read them nonetheless. I'd also appreciate the subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and bye!